Hey girl, what's up? You usually don't call this late. Is everything okay? I mean, it's 11 p.m. here, so I'm just wondering, are you okay?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize it was so late. But did you see what happened in Minneapolis? A white cop killed an unarmed black man while he knew he was being recorded. And three other cops just stood there and watched and did not do a thing. His arrogance and sense of impunity were off the fucking charts. I cannot believe this is happening again.
I saw it. It was so heartbreaking and overwhelming to watch. And the crowd screamed at him to stop. But this white cop sat with his hands in his pocket, knee on this black man's neck. And all of this for $20. I mean, what is this world coming to?
I can't believe we're still dealing with police brutality against African Americans in 2020. It's so similar to what happened to Eric Garner 6 years ago, and apparently nothing has changed since then. Ridiculous.
Indeed, we need change now. So many lives has been stolen by police misconduct against black people, and the list is getting longer and longer. And I think there's a huge gap in how police treat you when you're black compared to when you're white. It makes no sense. A white man who murdered unarmed people in a church is handled with nonviolence, and a black man accused of paying with a fake $20 bill, he is sentenced to death. This time, we're not going to give up until we see change. Enough is enough.
I agree, it has to stop now. We're all the same and everyone deserves equal treatment. And no one, no matter what the color of their skin, should die because of police brutality. And it's all been fueled by white supremacy, enabled and supported by the president. That's why it's so awesome to see all the peaceful protests. We haven't seen anything of this magnitude in our lifetime. The energy is electric. But in some areas that have a highly militarized police force, they're reacting to peaceful protesters in horrible ways, with extreme force that is so uncalled for. The police should never have been allowed to get military equipment, but they were back in the 90s for the war on drugs, and we saw how well that worked. So it's about time to defund the police and use a lot of that money for housing and healthcare and other community services. And Confederate statues are finally being taken down all over the country. But why did it take so long to erase these vestiges of America's racist past? That's only emboldened racist behavior. I can't even imagine what it's like being a black person in this country and having to deal with fear and racism every time you leave the house. I totally get the concept of white privilege and how the color of my skin has not made my life more difficult. I can leave the house without fear of being pulled over and without fear of police brutality. I totally get that. It's time for things to change in a monumental way and not just Confederate statues being toppled. It's time for a radical change in terms of race relations, not just more empty platitudes and broken promises from politicians. Been there, done that. So in addition to protesting and supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, I'm going to be sure to vote in November to get rid of racist politicians once and for all. It's time. Our country can't and shouldn't tolerate racism ever again.